Good day, folks. So, way back, probably about 6 months ago, kind of showed I'm working on a diorama base for one of the models. So, I got the water poured. Now I know it looks kind of silly right now, but once we add ground cover and stuff, that'll be fine. I'm going to have a road come through here. So what I'm going to show today, as part of it, we're putting it together. Now usually I use a squirt bottle like that filled with homemade. It's just a mixture of white glue and water. But for some reason the nozzle's kind of jacked. So what I'm going to use is a paintbrush. And I'll be using Woodland Scenics blended turf just as a ground cover. We're going to do the first layer. Everything, like in a diorama, obviously is done in layers. You start out with the lightweight hydrocal casting plaster. I made the frame, if you remember, just out of some scrap wood. And the bottom is just, that bubbly, styrofoamy, stuffy. And I just sprayed a coat of paint on the bottom just to seal it in. That stuff's probably not really necessary, but... now again, this is not the gospel. This is just, a lot of it's just experimentation anyway. So, gonna use a brush and some glue. Like I said, normally I would take the squirt bottle, squirt, and then shake it on. Now, after the layer is on, normally then I would want to squirt the top. I'm gonna have to get a squirt bottle to seal it all in, but for now, yeah, not a big deal, eh? So what I'm going to do is just take a little bit of this homemade glue stuff that I made and dump it into a bowl. And then that way I can just brush it on. Not a big deal. My other squirt bottle, I don't know what happened to it. It's somewhere in the shop. So I put a little bit in there. And then we're just going to go ahead and brush it on where we want to add the turf to. We'll see how that works out. And that way the turf will only stick where the glue is, obviously. So I just hope everyone's doing fine out there. Been some great builds. Been a lot of great builds, a lot of great videos. Atomic Dog 32, of course, Dr. Cranky, Scale Model Customs. You guys are building some just awesome stuff. I mean, it's awesome. Dave, Scale Model Customs, congratulations on your bike. Be safe out there on that thing. A lot of jerks out there that don't pay respect to people that are on motorcycles, at least in my neck of the woods. I grew up in Milwaukee, Wisconsin, home of Harley Davidson. But even there, people are jerks. They just don't respect bikers. It's scary. You couldn't, I don't know. Here in Central Ohio, boy, the way the roads are here, it's bad. So we're going to go ahead and sprinkle on the turf, give a generous dusting. Well, like I said, everything is done in layers, so I know this is like bright green and it like pops, but what'll happen is as we add layers of other stuff, one of the key things is it's called burnt grass. It's kind of a yellow color. It'll add a nice blend. So there you have it. Just another step in the diorama making process, eh? Now, I know that looks kind of funny. What's going to happen is I'm going to take the heat gun and remelt that, and then I'm going to plant some, some just garbage, not really garbage, excuse me, just some foliage and stuff in there. Remelt that, some grass sticking out and stuff. So we're just gonna knock it off, knock it off, eh? Clean up the edges there. So there you have it. So it's getting a little closer. See how that turned out there. So like I said, I'm gonna melt that down, plant some, stuff in there, like weeds and stuff sticking out. This is really just like a puddle. It's not a pond, it's not a lake or anything. It's more of just water kind of ran down. When you're driving down a side of the road, there's like pond. This is just a scene. It's a diorama. It's just a small scene. Originally, what I was gonna do is I was gonna use this for one of the tanks, but I got to thinking maybe I might use one of the trucks that I'm working on. Still might use the half track. There'll be some trees and stuff, but maybe the half track, and have the mortar guys out there ready to launch their mortars. I'm gonna build this up with some bushes and stuff. Maybe have some cats out there, hiding in there with machine guns and stuff. But yeah, it's a fun process. So the next thing I'll probably do is I'm going to add gravel to this area here, get that built up with some gravel, and then start adding the layers till this grassy area here, some burnt grass, some weeds and trees and twigs and garbage and oh my, all kinds of cool stuff like that, eh? So, I like building dioramas. It's kind of a creative thing. So, it's all about having fun. I jump around between projects. I got finished off the plane. I'll be uploading a video soon of the 65 Chevy finished. Ended up being a little bit more rusty than I wanted it to. And I'm starting that tank project. And then I think for the SMA spring contest build, I'm going to go with that B29 Super Fortress. I think I'm going to build that. Never entered a contest before, and I'm just throwing my ticket into the hat. I don't care if I win. I'm doing it just, it's just another build for me, eh? So, okay, so also the SMA SCaleModelAddict.com spring build is going to be on its way March 1st. I decided that this year I'm going to actually throw my hat in the ring. Ticket in the hat, if you will. I'm going to build a B29 Super Fortress. It's still in shrink wrap. I had just got a pretty good deal at it at the hobby store, so it's going to stay sealed. I'm going to take the picture with the time and submit it, eh? I'm not doing it to try winning any prizes. I'm just doing it like normal. You see, I post all my builds and stuff, so it's not like I'm doing it to win anything. As a matter of fact, I know I wouldn't win because, my modeling skills aren't the greatest because I just starting out again, eh? So, yeah, I'm going to throw my hat in the ring. $5 donation is really basically why I'm doing it. Also, is because Scale Model Addict, the forums, provide a lot of information. The folks there, respond to all your questions. You post something on the forum, they get back to you. Just like the Modeler Social Club too. if they have a build too. I haven't checked. If they have something, I'm sure I'll join that too, right? So, yeah, I'm gonna. This will be the first contest I've ever been in, so I think that we'll see what happens. I might throw my, give my donation. Like I said, I would, I show my builds anyway, so why not support the website and stuff that Scott's doing over there on Scale Model Addict. Scott does a great job doing what he does. A lot of great information. As a matter of fact, was it a few months ago he did a 24-hour thing. Had to build. He had the camera on, and while he was building, he'd even get up and get himself a drink, or So that was pretty cool. A lot of good information there. Because of Scale Model Addict, I heard about AK Interactive. If it wasn't for that website, I wouldn't have found out about. Well, maybe I would have, but AK Interactive products, and I really dig their stuff. So yeah. All right. Well, I guess that's enough rambling, eh? So we're doing a diorama thing I was showing you. As soon as that dries, I gotta sort out, get the top coat on there, and then I'm gonna lay the gravel. I'll show you that, and then I'm making some trees upstairs in the other workshop. Make some trees, some bushes, and just some garbage and stuff like that. So, watching the hockey game, eh? So, alrighty, man. Take care, everyone. Hope everyone's doing well. Be kind to one another, and remember, keep the glue on the styrene.